Welcome back, race fans, to another episode of After the Checkered Flag with your host, Paige Johnson. Each week, we break down the NASCAR Cup Series race, the drama, the strategies, and the stories that came out of the weekend. This week, we're heading to Richmond Raceway, which was a short track known for heavy tire fall-off, plenty of strategy, and no shortage of action, and that is exactly what it delivered this weekend. It lived up to its reputation, with tire wear playing a huge role with the new Goodyear tires and giving teams multiple paths to the front. Different strategies kept the racing tight and created plenty of passing opportunities, and that happened indeed. So let's start with the stage highlights. 2311 swept the stages this weekend, but they couldn't close it out. So stage one went to Tyler Reddick, while Bubba Wallace, who also took the Xfinity fastest lap of the race, grabbed stage two. 2311 looked good this weekend, but both of them had fall off late in the race, got involved in a couple of wrecks, which unfortunately for them prevented a team win. Now let's go to Denny Hamlin, the Richmond man. Denny, a 5-time winner at Richmond and one of the best at managing tires, once again showed his skills at his home track. He also leads active drivers in laps led at Richmond, but stage one speeding penalty and several slow pit stops proved costly for track position for Denny. He worked his way back up toward the front fairly quickly until he was involved in a crash that unfortunately ended his chances to win the race. Still, a 10th place finish was not bad for the 11 team. Now let's move on to our pole sitter, Ryan Preece. He started there on the pole, the second of his Cup Series career. He led almost 60 laps of stage one, but he couldn't hold on because he was one of the few that didn't pit that stage. So he had a bit of fall off and people passed him in the front. He did a great job maintaining his tires, but it wasn't enough, and he ended up with an unfortunate 35th place finish. Now, our regular season champion, William Byron. Richmond has been a difficult track for the 24 team, he said to himself, usually placing somewhere between 6th and 10th, and it was honestly no different this weekend. He ended with a 12th place finish, but it was enough for William Byron to hold the regular season championship title this weekend. He absolutely deserved this, absolutely deserved for the 24 and Hendrick team. He had a great year. The whole team had a great year. They had a fast car. He raced well all around. Awesome year for the 24. Awesome year for Hendrick Motorsports. I can't wait to see what he's going to do in this playoffs, but very well deserved win for William Byron. Now, unfortunate luck for his Hendrick Motorsports teammates, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Kyle just had a terrible qualifying. I mean, he's had some bad luck lately. He's been, a bit of a slump, and this team has just been struggling. But a lucky break did happen late in stage two with a caution before he pitted, so that shot him to the front of the field, and he ended with a solid 6th place finish at Richmond. Hoping for some more momentum going into the playoffs, though. But for their other teammate, Chase Elliott, he had a stage one penalty for being in the 19s box and didn't stop for tires that stage. So his day ended when he got caught in the back of a big multi-car wreck after the 8 accidentally came down and just kind of clipped him. So he went straight into the wall, completely ended his day. Big wreck for the 9 car. Unfortunate finish for them. Okay, I have to talk about SVG, but I'm only going to say one thing about him this week. He said that he studied Denny Hamlin's Richmond strategy. He put it into place, but it was clear that he had his own spin on it going into this race, and during this race, he landed himself a 14th place finish. Let that sink in, because with him needing to finish in the round of 16 of the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs, an average of 17th place, his performance at Richmond makes it look good for him to make it possibly past the first round. Then once he gets to the Roval, who knows? Like I said last week, who knows? Who knows what can happen, but things are looking up for SVG and pretty good for the 88 team. Let's move on to our winner this weekend, Austin Dillon, a two-peat for him. He qualified 14th this year at Richmond, ended stage 1 and 4th, made a pretty good jump there. He had one of the best cars in the field at Richmond, and he raced extremely well, didn't make mistakes. It showed because he ended up with a repeat win there, going back to back. And for everybody that thought, including me, that Austin Dillon's win last year at Richmond was a fluke because he crashed everybody at the end for the win. We stand corrected. This shows that he's just flat out good at this track, and this was a massive, massive win for the 3 team. So now let's look at the playoff picture. With one race left, being Daytona International Speedway in the regular season, the playoff picture is heating up and has shifted again after Dillon's win this weekend. I'm going to talk about a few that are close to the bubble and a clinched. So Chris Buescher did struggle at Richmond, quickly losing spots in the beginning and battling his car, which just didn't handle the way that he wanted to. So that hurt his chances to stay above the cut line, and now he's just below the cut line, and right above him stands Alex Bowman, who had a fantastic run at Richmond this weekend, finishing runner-up to Austin Dillon and jumping ahead of Buescher in the standings. He now sits right above the cut line. Now, we mentioned the 2311 team and Tyler Reddick earlier, but he wasn't without issues, spinning after a pit cycle in stage 2, but unlike Bowman and Buescher, he's got a comfortable cushion, and he is now locked into the playoffs. He has gotten his points up there, so he's locked in. That means that the real battle is going into Daytona, going to be between Bowman and Buescher and the rest that are below the cut line to see who is going to make that final playoff spot. There is one singular playoff spot left and one race left. How poetic. I mean, you can't get any better than that. This race is going to be so incredibly exciting. Not to mention it's Daytona International Speedway, but this race is just going to be everybody putting everything on the line. The people that are close to the cut line, people below the bubble, I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane. I think we'll have a new winner this weekend. We'll see who can do it. Maybe the 6 of Keselowski can do it. Maybe the 48 of Alex Bowman. Maybe the 17 of Chris Buescher. We shall see. But that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of After the Checkered Flag with Paige Johnson. Richmond gave us tire drama, strategy swings, and some playoff shaking moments. But the headlines were William Byron locking up the regular season championship and Austin Dillon taking home a huge back-to-back win at Richmond, proving everybody wrong. Now it all comes down to Daytona, the regular season finale. I will be back next week to break it all down, so make sure you join me as we head into the playoffs. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you after the checkered flag at Daytona.